ever get that feeling at work, where you're just kind of going through the motions
Uh-huh.
and you start thinking like, would it even matter if I wasn't here tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like you're replaceable. Maybe someone even took over one of your tasks
Right.
and they did it so well that it kind of makes you wonder. I think we've all been there.
Definitely. That feeling of putting in the effort,
Yeah,
but not really. Like making a gent, not feeling essential. It's pretty common these days.
for sure. And that's what we're diving into today. We're going to look closely at Seth Godin's Linchpin.
Great book. Came out back in 2010.
Right.
Actually, that's worth thinking about for a sec.
Okay.
2010. The economy was still shaky after that whole financial crisis.
Yeah.
Digital stuff was changing everything so fast.
Yeah.
Like the whole way we work was transforming,
Crazy time.
right? And in the middle of all that, Godin just throws out this question: are you indispensable?
Oh,
It kind of hits you, right? And the book doesn't just ask. It tries to show you how to bring your own skills and your own view to what you do every day.
totally. So today we want to pull out those core ideas from Linchpin that still really matter.
For sure.
We want to help you get what being indispensable means now, why it's so important, and how you can actually start being that person at work.
Yeah, step by step. You don't have to change everything overnight.
Right, exactly. Because that old deal, where you just showed up, did your job, and the company took care of you,
Yeah.
it's gone. The sources we've been reading, they say that's over. Things are different now.
Very different. Now it's all about talent, being creative, and even, Godin says, creating art.
Okay, wow. So let's dive into how the world of work has changed then.
Okay, so the book talks about this shift. It's moving away from that old structure.
The two groups, management and labor.
Exactly. Now there's this third group, and they're super important: the linchpins.
So who are these linchpins, really? Like, what do they do?
They basically own how they produce things.
Own their means of production.
Right. But for most of us, it's not a factory.
No.
It's our skills, what we know, who we know. They're the ones who make a real difference.
They take initiative, they lead.
And they connect people and ideas.
So it's a more active role.
For sure. And there's this big idea behind it all: the death of the factory.
Right, that's a key concept. And it's not just literal factories closing down.
No, it's way bigger than that. It's about that old system.
The industrial system.
Right, the one that ran our economies for so long. It was all about interchangeable parts.
Like everyone being the same.
Yeah, and just following orders, being efficient. The book says this whole system is basically upside down now.
That sounds like a huge change. Is that why the book says this is both a problem and a chance for us?
Exactly. The problem is, if you're still trying to be a perfect cog in that old machine,
You're going to get left behind.
basically.
Yeah.
But the chance is this: when the old system breaks down.
It opens up space for new things.
Exactly. People who can bring something human to work, something creative, insightful, they have a real opportunity.
So the tough part now isn't physical work.
Nope, not anymore. A lot of that is done by machines or in other countries.
So what's the hard work now?
It's having the guts to step up, to change things, to bring your heart into your work.
That makes sense, I guess. But if being a linchpin is so great,
Yeah.
why isn't everyone doing it? What stops us?
Well, that's where this big idea comes in: the resistance.
The resistance.
It's this force inside us. It comes from our lizard brain, the amygdala. It kicks in when we think about doing something scary.
like literally scary.
Well, not always. It could be anything that feels risky, or even when we think about being really generous.
Our lizard brain. So it's our instincts trying to keep us safe and comfy.
Exactly. Something is different, new. It triggers this resistance. And if you want to be indispensable, you got to learn to beat this thing inside you.
So how does this resistance show up at work? Like, what does it look like?
Oh, it's sneaky. Like
Yeah.
always wanting someone to tell you exactly what to do.
Oh, yeah.
That's fear, right?
Yeah.
Fear of figuring things out on your own.
Yeah.
Or being the devil's advocate all the time.
Always shooting down new ideas.
Right. That's resistance blocking creativity. Imagine you're in a meeting brainstorming.
Okay.
The person who instantly says why something won't work.
Yeah.
That's probably resistance talking,
That's interesting. So even having more freedom at work.
which should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can actually make this resistance worse.
It's kind of ironic. Think about the cog workers in the old system.
They didn't have much freedom.
Nope. But having the freedom to create, to try new things,
That freaks out the lizard brain.
it sees more risks, more chances to fail.
So it tries to protect us.
Exactly. And it's not just the fear of failing either. The book says we can even be scared of success.
Really? That seems weird.
I know, right? But think about it. Success means more responsibility,
More people watching you.
higher expectations. It shakes things up.
So the resistance doesn't like that.
Nope. It wants things to stay the same.
Oh.
So that voice in your head that says, I don't have any good ideas,
Oh, yeah, I know that voice.
that's probably resistance. And Godin says, it's not really that you don't have good ideas,
It's that we're scared of the bad ones.
or we're scared to actually put any ideas out there.
To ship them, as he says.
Exactly. And that's where the cult of done comes in.
Okay, what's that?
It's this idea, like a manifesto. It says, stop waiting for things to be perfect.
Just finish them.
Yes. Everything is a draft. Just get it done, then make it better.
Yeah.
Sometimes, pretending you know what you're doing.
Is the best way to actually learn.
You got it.
So for a linchpin, the work isn't just doing what's on your to-do list.
Right. It's bigger than that. It's about creating art.
But art doesn't just mean paintings or music, right?
No. In this book, it's anything you create that changes things, that shows your insights, your humanity.
And you have to put it out there.
You got to ship it. That's the difference between just following instructions and really doing the work.
And with the internet and all.
All the distractions.
Yeah. It can actually feed this resistance, right?
Totally. Godin calls the internet crack cocaine for the resistance.
Wow, that's strong.
Because there's always something else to look at, something else to do. It's a way to avoid the real work.
To avoid that uncomfortable feeling.
Exactly.
Even anxiety is a trick the resistance uses.
That's what the book says.
Yeah.
Think about it. When do you feel anxious?
When I'm stressed about something.
Often it's when you're about to do something that really matters, something that pushes you. The resistance wants you to run away from that feeling,
Or make it go away.
to seek reassurance, to avoid the challenge, anything but moving forward. There's this idea of shempa.
Shempa.
It's like getting hooked by a feeling, and it stops you from doing brave things.
So how do we fight back against that?
The book talks about sprinting.
Like running really fast.
It's like that, but with work. You focus all your energy on something for a short, intense time.
So you don't give the resistance time to mess with you.
Exactly. It's about momentum.
Yeah.
Breaking through that initial, oof, I don't want a feeling.
Okay, so we get the changes in work and we get this resistance thing. But how do we actually become a linchpin? Is it something you're born with, or can you learn it?
The good news is you can learn it. It's like developing a skill.
So it's not about that old take care of you deal anymore.
Nope. It's about bringing your own talents, your creativity. It's about creating something meaningful, like art, in your work.
And to be indispensable, you got to stand out.
You can't just blend in. It takes emotional labor.
Emotional labor.
It's the work you do with your feelings, your empathy. It's how you connect with people. It's about doing things that people truly value.
A lot of people think that creating really amazing stuff,
The genius stuff.
yeah, like that's only for special people.
Right.
But the book disagrees.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It says that's a myth. And it uses examples. People like Bezos, Jobs, Mandela.
Right.
They came from different backgrounds.
They all did great things.
And just like you, they had to choose to use their potential, to leave their mark on the world. The book reminds us we were all artists as kids.
Oh, yeah, when we were little.
It's about getting back to that.
So instead of competing just on price, like a race to the bottom,
We should race to the top.
by being more human, more unique.
Exactly. When everything's becoming the same, the real value is in what makes us human. What's hard to copy. Knowing a lot isn't enough anymore
Why not?
because information is everywhere now. What matters is how you use that knowledge, your judgment, your insights, your unique perspective.
And this emotional labor is key, right?
Very key. It's not just about managing your own feelings.
It's about using them to create something.
Exactly. It's about making art in your field, being generous, sharing your creativity.
So it's a kind of work.
Definitely. It's work you do with your heart, not just your hands or your head. And your job, whatever it is.
It's a platform for that.
It's a stage to share your generosity and your art. The book talks about Marissa Mayer at Google.
What did she do?
She used her artistic sense and emotional labor to change how people use Google. It wasn't just about code.
It was about understanding people.
Exactly. How they use technology, how they interact. She made things better for everyone.
And the book says you don't have to be in a high position to make a difference.
Right. That's where Krulak's law comes in. It says even someone in a seemingly small role,
Can have a big impact.
huge impact. especially now when everything's connected. Someone dealing directly with customers.
Their actions can ripple outwards.
Exactly.
So just being good at your job isn't enough anymore.
Good has almost become bad.
Because anyone can be good.
Right. If you're just meeting the basic requirements, you're replaceable. Now, it's about being exceptional, being uniquely human.
The story about David, the parking garage guy, really shows that, doesn't it?
It does. He took a simple job.
Parking car.
And he made it into something special. He treated each person like a human being. He brightened their day. He went above and beyond.
He brought emotional labor and art to his work.
Exactly.
So that old resume with just your skills and experience.
It's not enough anymore. Now it's about showing what you've actually done.
Your portfolio.
Yeah, the real proof of what you can do. That's the new resume for Linchpin.
I like how the book talks about standing by versus leaning in.
Powerful images, right?
Yeah. Standing by is like waiting for orders, just doing the bare minimum.
And leaning in is being proactive.
Seeking out opportunities, taking on challenges.
Exactly. A linchpin leans in.
And there's that story about Steve at Stop and Shop. It's like a warning, right?
It is. He hates his job. He does the least he can get away with.
And he's training himself to be mediocre.
He keeps waiting for the perfect job to come along.
The one where he can finally be a linchpin.
But he's missing the point. He can start being a linchpin right now. In any job.
That's a good point. Okay, let's talk more about this art thing.
Okay. It's not just traditional art like painting or music.
Right. Godin says art is intent plus communication.
So what's an artist in this sense?
It's anyone who uses their courage, their insights, their creativity to challenge the way things are. And they really care about the outcome.
And this kind of art, it's a gift.
Yes, a gift that comes from emotional labor.
It's not just a business transaction.
If it feels easy, if you're just doing it for the money,
It's not art.
it might not be. There has to be generosity, a desire to give something meaningful. The book talks about the painters in Daffin.
Who are they?
They're incredibly skilled painters. But if they're just copying, if there's no heart in it,
There's not really artists.
not in the way the book means it, their work might lack that personal touch, that gift.
So passion is about wanting to give a gift through your work.
Yes, passion is that drive to make a difference, to share something valuable with the world. It's persistent. It doesn't give up. Like Ed Sutt.
Who is that Seth?
He spent decades trying to improve the design of a nail, like a hammer and nail.
Yeah, he was passionate about making something better, even something small.
So there's a reason to be an artist at work, even if you don't make art literally.
It's the best way to connect with people, to change things, to tell new stories in the marketplace. Look at Jones Soda.
What did they do?
They did things differently. They
Yeah.
were creative with their branding, their marketing. They gave a gift to their customers.
Mhm.
And it worked.
So passion isn't about loving a specific project or job.
It's deeper than that. It's about wanting to connect with people, to make a difference. That's what drives a true artist.
So no matter what you do, you can be an artist.
In a way, yes. Maybe not all the time, but look for the chances to give something extra, to go above and beyond, to make someone's day.
Okay, so now we're talking about creating a culture of connection and gifts at work.
Yeah, the book says this is crucial for organizations to succeed.
They need people who are willing to give those extra gifts, those unexpected contributions.
Yes, their creativity, their insights, their emotional labor. But here's the thing. If you try to force it, to measure it too much,
It stops working.
it becomes less authentic.
So what's this gift culture? How does that even work in a business?
The internet actually makes gift culture more important because it's easier than ever to share things, to be generous. The cost is lower. Think about Shepard Fairey's Obama poster.
The hope poster.
Yes, it was a gift, and it had a massive impact. Digital gifts, spreading ideas. This is how we can be more generous than ever before.
And giving gifts creates stronger bonds than just doing business, right?
For sure. A gift is freely given. It's not part of a contract. It creates a connection between people, a sense of community. Business transactions are necessary, but they can also isolate us.
Right. Like if everything's just about money, we lose that human connection.
Exactly. The book talks about interest-free loans within a community.
Like helping each other out.
Yes. That's a form of gift. It strengthens the community. It's not just about the money.
Interesting. The book also mentions how we shifted from a gift-based society to a money-driven one.
It talks about Martin Luther and lifting the ban on charging interest on loans.
That changed things a lot.
It was a turning point. But now, with the internet, we're coming back to gift culture.
Because connections are more important.
Exactly. When we help each other, when we give freely, it creates a better environment for everyone. A loan without interest, it can be a gift.
In doing things like that, it can make you more indispensable.
It's about the intention behind your actions.
So the real power of a gift is in the connection it creates.
Right, we've forgotten that. Business can make us focus so much on transactions.
Like, you do this for me, I do that for you.
Exactly. And we lose that human element. The book uses this analogy of 3 circles of art.
Okay.
There's the artist, the audience, and then there's the friendlies. The internet expands that 3rd circle. It lets generosity reach more people.
And that can actually lead to making money.
Like with Linus Torvalds and Linux. He created something amazing and shared it as a gift. And it built a whole community.
That's cool. The book also contrasts washing a rental car with a bellboy refusing a tip.
Great example, right?
Yeah, washing a rental car is just a transaction.
No personal connection. But the bellboy, he chose to help an elderly customer without expecting anything in return.
That's a gift.
And the book says if there's no gift, there's no art.
I like that. So there are different ways people think about gifts.
3 ways, according to the book.
And only one is the right way for a linchpin.
The first 2 are all about taking, give me a gift, or here's a gift, now you owe me.
That's not really giving, is it?
Nope, it's still transactional thinking.
Yeah.
The only real gift is the one given freely. Here's a gift, because I care.
Like that story about Sonny Bates, the human Ethernet.
She connects people. That's her gift. And it takes real effort, real emotional labor.
It's not something you can just buy.
Exactly. If you try to buy an artist, you might kill their creativity.
So real human connection is more powerful than forced networking.
Always. People can tell the difference. And the internet gives us this incredible tool.
To share our gifts.
And connect with more people. But for it to work, everyone has to be willing to give and receive.
And when someone gives you a gift, it's not enough to just say thank you.
The book suggests saying thank you and
tell them how their gift impacted you.
Exactly. Show them you appreciate it. In the end, what artists really want isn't just money.
It's respect.
Respect for their work, their effort, their generosity.
Okay, so the last part of the book is about making the choice. It starts with seeing clearly.
Right.
Why is that so important?
Because you can't become a linchpin if you're not seeing the world as it really is.
Without all our biases and assumptions.
Exactly. There's no map for this journey. You have to deal with uncertainty. The book talks about being annoyed at intent.
What does that mean?
It's when you think everything bad that happens is because someone is trying to hurt you.
It's like always assuming the worst.
It can be exhausting. What you need is equanimity.
Okay, what's that?
It's being calm, accepting things as they are, not getting upset about things you can't control. It's super important for artists and linchpins.
So trying to control everything is a waste of energy.
Exactly. You'll just burn yourself out. The book also mentions prajna.
Prajna.
It's like this deep understanding of the world.
Yeah.
Accepting it as it is, not how you wish it was. Like that story about Richard Branson.
What happened?
His flight got canceled, so he decided to start his own airline.
Virgin Atlantic.
Yep. He saw the situation and took action. He didn't get stuck in complaining or wishing things were different.
So it's about being flexible.
Seeing things from different perspectives, not getting stuck in one way of thinking. Like Bob Lefsetz in the music industry.
What does he do?
He tells the truth, even when it's not popular. And that's what makes him indispensable. He sees things clearly.
So worrying about stuff you can't control.
It's a waste of time.
And energy. You could be using that energy to actually make things better.
Right. There's a great quote from the documentary Man on Wire. It says, "Impossible, yes, so let's get to work."
Love that. It's about taking action, even when things seem impossible.
Exactly. And there's the story of Binny. She got promoted because she just started doing her job better.
Without waiting for permission.
She saw what needed to be done and did it. And it paid off.
That's inspiring. The book contrasts Bill O'Brien, the banker for the Amish,
with John, the insurance salesman who just follows a script.
Bill built real relationships.
He connected with people. He offered something unique. John, on the other hand, is just a cog in the machine.
He's replaceable.
And it makes you think, whose agenda are you following? Is it taking you where you want to go?
That's a good question. The book uses the game Candyland as an analogy.
It's a game of pure chance. You don't make any real choices.
And that's what a lot of work is like.
If you're just following orders, not using your skills or creativity,
then you're just playing Candyland.
And being slightly remarkable won't get you anywhere. You got to aim for being truly indispensable.
So the new economy is about self-determination.
You get to decide your own path. And when you give freely, when you help others, everyone benefits.
And sometimes bringing joy, art, or humanity to your work
Is easier than becoming a technical expert.
It's about that human touch.
Exactly.
Right.
But learning the tools of your trade is still important.
So you can be in control.
You can make things happen.
But ultimately, being a linchpin is a choice.
It's not just a skill or a talent.
You have to decide to be that person.
And the book warns us about being stuck in the past, about having nostalgia for a particular future.
Like being afraid of change.
Right. A true linchpin is open to new possibilities. And here's the thing. You probably already have some linchpin qualities.
We all do.
It's about recognizing them, nurturing them. It's about realizing you have the power to choose.
To choose to be indispensable.
And a linchpin doesn't waste time on tasks anyone can do. They delegate those. They focus on their unique contributions.
Like G. Lee at Google.
He brought his artistic vision to a very technical company.
Mm.
And it made a huge difference.
That's inspiring. Okay, the book also talks about the 7 abilities of the linchpin. What are those?
These are like the core skills of being indispensable.
Okay.
First, solving interesting problems, the tough ones, not the ones with easy answers.
Okay, what else?
Leading, taking charge, inspiring others, seeing a better future.
Connecting people and ideas.
Yes, creating new things, new ways of doing things, seeing the world clearly without bias.
Wow, that's a lot.
Making good decisions when there's no clear path. And, of course, giving gifts.
With emotional labor and generosity.
Exactly. It's about using your heart and your head to make a difference.
So even if you have a unique talent, it's not enough to just have it.
You have to know how to use it.
And sometimes the world might not be ready for your art.
That's true. You can't force it.
So what do you do then?
You keep creating. You keep giving your gift. And maybe you find a different audience.
An audience that appreciates what you do.
Exactly. But you have to know yourself and your market. You have to be honest about what works and what doesn't.
And sometimes you might not get paid for your art.
That's a reality.
But the reward is in the creating.
In the giving. Sometimes trying to make money from your art can ruin it.
It becomes less pure.
It loses its heart.
But there are more ways than ever to share your gifts.
The internet has changed everything. Even if you don't get rich, you can still reach people.
So the point isn't to quit your job and become an entrepreneur.
It's to be the artist you already are. To give your gift. To make the world a better place.
Even in small ways.
Even in your own little corner of the world. The biggest obstacle is usually ourselves.
The resistance.
And our own limited thinking. If we can overcome those, we can be truly indispensable.
So indispensable people, they're the ones who connect, who give, who make a difference.
They make art that changes people.
In real, tangible ways.
Not just anonymous transactions. And their art always contains a gift.
A gift that connects them to the people they touch.
If you can overcome the resistance, if you can see the world clearly.
You can be a linchpin.
But you can't fake it. People can sense when something's not genuine.
So be true to yourself.
And even if your art doesn't make you famous or rich.
The joy of creating is its own reward.
And sometimes that's enough.
So when art and risk and generosity and humanity come together,
it creates something amazing.
It brings us back to what matters. It changes us for the better.
And that's the power of being a linchpin.
So to wrap up, what we really want you to take away from this deep dive into linchpin is this. Being indispensable isn't about being a perfect worker bee. It's about being the artist you were meant to be.
It's about facing that resistance inside you, giving freely of yourself, connecting with others in a genuine way. And here's something to think about. What small act of art can you bring to work tomorrow?
How can you make someone's day? How can you solve a problem in a creative way? How can you be more generous?
If you shift your thinking from being a replaceable cog to being a linchpin, it can change your whole career.
And it can make you feel more fulfilled, more alive.
And if you want to learn more, definitely check out Linchpin by Seth Godin.
There's a lot to discover about emotional labor, gift economies, and how to unleash your creativity.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.